I think I'm. Hello?
Oh, we did it. Okay, hold on. Let me turn to face you on the stream. Also, if you want to bring up the stream, just in case anyone says anything in chat, feel free to cut me off. But
Okay, got it. I've got it on my phone.
Hell yeah.
And then I've got you up on my computadora.
My overexposed is a light coming in. Now the sun's coming out. I changed my camera so that it doesn't, because Cat Liente yelled at me because of the overexposure. So I have to like hide the window because I don't have curtains.
You and I have talked about Duvetine. We've talked about blackout curtains.
I know. I'm a bad streamer. First of all,
Yes.
thank you for coming on the show.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome.
It is an absolute pleasure and a blessing. Thank you. And I can't say that enough. You, real quick, make me a better streamer. I'm so used to, like we talked about in DMs, like I'm so used to just being this silly goose and stuff. And the thing that I have to start realizing now is bringing other brands into the, you're the first person who's kind of been like, okay, this is the look I want. This is how I want to be represented. And that's very interesting because I don't get that a lot from other creators. They're kind of like loosey goosey, like, oh, I'm a streamer. I don't really, it's like, this is for fun, you know?
Right.
Do you feel like you're more professional than other streamers?
So I wouldn't phrase it like that for obvious reasons, but
yes,
I'm my biggest advocate for my own brand. And a huge part of that is because this is what I do. I don't want to say for a living now is like such a weird phrase. But you know, in my day life versus my nightlife. But in my day life, I represent brands, and you know, I have to make sure everything is really cohesive and coherent throughout every platform and when they're represented and when they do collabs. And I know how important that is as well when you are, you know, doing these collaborations or when you are on someone else's show and when someone you want to have that, like, you know, you want to be recognizable and you want to make sure everyone like notices, you know, you want to use the same picture and the same font. And I'm trying to like let go that you just decided to use a font that was similar for the name right here.
Oh, you want?
Like,
I got you.
Breathe through it.
Listen,
no, it's okay.
It's an easygoing show. I'm telling. My name is Anime Daddy. I'm trying. I didn't think it would pick up like this. I want to have bigger guests and stuff. I want to have bigger guests and stuff on, but I'm learning. I literally just learned about like community management. I've had to implement rules and like make sure people are getting along to a certain extent, but while still having discussions. Like it's a job. Like it's a job at a certain point, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, have you had to deal with community? I know you have a cult, by the way, everybody. But like, have you had to?
I do have a cult.
But have you had to deal with community management like that? Have you like ban people or make sure people are getting along and whatnot, or has it been pretty self-manageable?
Just like as a whole, like on multiple platforms, just, you know, I mean, community it's a huge part of it for me, right? It's all of it. I think the OGC, I said this in the beginning, you know, I think, you know, this was my community and I think the OGC has become its own thing. I think that they are just a mind of their own at this point. They have completely become their own entity. And that's one of the greatest parts of it. Is sort of this community has grown into something larger than myself, larger than just, you know, live on Twitch at certain days on certain times. It's almost like they'll go into other Twitch, you know, other streams and be like, oh my God, you're OGC. And to see that and to be a part of that, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And like, sometimes I'll go into some random streamer, I'll like find them on the Discover and someone will be like, Ginger, and like use my email. I'm like, shop, let's go. Like, I love this.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
Coolest part. Yeah, it's like the stream world is so big, but so small at the same time. And like anywhere you go, you can just, you know, there's like a friend nearby that's like, hey, and it's like showing the emotes, kind of this like reciprocal camaraderie, and it's really cool.
No, that's the weird thing. I literally had two different conversations today about it. Is how there's, I mean, shit. I think Juve and Meadsy mentioned big streamers that I've literally never heard before. There's like, oh, you don't know about this guy, and has millions of followers and stuff. It's like, I have no idea. Like it's so big, but then it can get really small within those crossing of communities and using your emote, or like my dumb thing, which is Gert Gang, because I don't know, I ate yogurt on stream, so now that's my thing.
Like, but one time, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was 2 pounds of yogurt. I don't know, it was I'm okay.
Wow, you put that back. I love that.
It's okay. It was
flavored, or like what's our yogurt preference?
Oh, could you imagine if it was just plain Greek yogurt? What type of animal could I be?
Look. Look, there's nothing wrong with vanilla, okay? There's nothing wrong with vanilla.
It was strawberry. I promise there was flavor to it.
Okay, you look strawberry type.
Chat, can we get a consensus on that? um, no, yeah, it's crazy how big the streaming world is, but how small it can feel at certain times. Like you have those crossovers. But the kicker within that was like recently, one of my buddies, McQueeb, you have members of those communities that can go out and kind of be toxic or maybe be acting how you wouldn't want your brand to be represented, you know? Like you haven't had any of that
Yeah.
before. You haven't had to like wrangle someone or had instances where someone has like acted out. That kind of feels weird as an adult. Like adults fall like, you know? You haven't had
Yeah.
that?
I guess I don't mess with the small potatoes like that. I think that I genuinely believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. I think that the OGC is like these crazy, ridiculous trolls who are just, they know what I tolerate and what I don't. I think that I've had people come into stream and like call me a name, and I'm like, and like my mods are like the most intense. Like I shout out to my mods, shout out to all mods, but particularly my mods who like I'm like I tell them all the time, like, isn't it crazy how we get like no hate? And they're like, yeah, it's crazy. And they just get it so fast. And I always think they ban like super fast, like ban hammer. I'm like, you guys, hold on. They don't know the vibe in here. And I'll be like, hey, so and so, look, you came in hot. I'm gonna give you a warning. I'm gonna give you a second shot. And then they'll be like, look, sorry, I'm like an internet troll. And I've literally had apologies. Like I just go around trolling people. I'm like, look, there's a way to troll right. There's a way to troll wrong. And like like the OGC will teach you. And it's like it's like a joke. But
gladly be rickrolled. If anyone wants to drop a rickroll, that's fine. But yeah, coming in, I think I was talking to Cat Liente, and someone came in, and we were talking about trolls, and they did like the copy pasta of just the word cock, and I was just like, oh, cool, dude, that's great. But like when someone like follows in their names, Obi-Wan can blow me or something. By the way, we curse and stuff. I hope it's okay. Like, is it okay if we go
Mama
wild?
Ginge isn't home, so it's okay. It's
Mama Ginge.
If Mama Ginge is home, it's a whole other story. Everyone's got to be on their best behavior.
But yeah, no, it's trolling like that. That's funny because I don't think I have any mods in chat currently. I don't have any mods because right now I'm going through a
I was just seeing Nightbot. What's up, Nightbot? How you doing?
I'm going through a growing phase in that sense as well, as I don't know how to delegate that responsibility, I guess.
It's all a massive learning curve. It's all a massive learning curve. I was the first stream I ever did. I with my face. I was really nervous. And first time I ever did with my face, there was like 6 people in chat that seemed like super into it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab all these 6 people and put them on in an Instagram DM. Okay. And that's what I did. I put them all in an Instagram DM. This is like, I had no idea at the beginning, like what Twitch was gonna be, look like, and what was going on. So I put them all in an Instagram DM, and I was just like, hey, since you all showed up, like, hi, like, I just like, what's, and then 2 of them were like, we really want to be your mods. And then one of them, and then a third one kind of was like, yeah, me too. And it kind of stemmed from there. And so my mods, the 3 of them have been there like since the beginning, and I have 5, and they're the mod squad. I think there's so many other streamers who like, and you're a mod, and you're a mod, and you're a mod. And that's a vibe. But for me, I like to keep it like really close knit, inner. Like I hate the word like the phrase inner circle, but like but that they know.
You mean you don't have a Mean Girls chat, a private Mean Girls chat?
No. But it's more of like they just know me so well. They've been to every single stream. They know my vibe. They are really protective of stream, and they want to make sure that we continue to put out really great, entertaining, amazing content. And they know that some people could ruin that, and they they don't want to. Yeah. So my mods have been there from like the beginning, and they get it, and I trust them.
You haven't had any you haven't had to demod anyone? You haven't had any issues with like
I've had one mod ask to leave several months in, and they were just taking on too many responsibilities in their life, and so on and so forth. And I was like, I get that, because I would never, honestly, I would never want to be the mod to anyone's channel. Like I'm the mod to like a few of my mods channels because like they think it's funny, and I just like to ban people when I hang out in there. But like I don't actually actively mod. I think that's a huge responsibility. I think
it is.
Like I just discovered mod. What's it called? When
mod
you go
view?
on. Yeah, what?
How did you not know?
I had no idea. I had no idea there was a mod view. Mod
Yeah.
view? What the, like,
Modding is a
bruh.
whole responsibility
I
depending
didn't know
on
there
your
was a mod
community.
back there. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Shout out
I
to mods.
I'm blessed. Hashtag blessed that my streams, knock on wood, and I will continue to knock on wood, really don't get crazy. Like I don't have
Yeah,
people coming in
that's awesome.
changing the vibe. Way back when I first started, I had a lot of trauma dumping for some reason. Like
Mm,
which was odd for my channels because I was even more wild than I am now. Like I wasn't doing interviews. I was just like we were rating animes and stuff, and people would come in and be like, "Oh, my dog's sick." I was like, "I don't know what to do. Somebody help
yeah.
me." But yeah, I've been lucky
Yeah,
enough that I
cooking for
don't.
it also helps.
Yeah, I don't have a mod. I don't have a mod team. I'm bad at delegating. Basically, I'm bad at this. Hey, once
Okay.
again,
No, you're not, you're not, you're not.
I'm the best. I have to get the
Don't put
confidence
that on
up.
yourself. I
Yeah, yeah.
think that so what you know what's interesting that people have sometimes noticed is when you come into my chat, there's no oh my god. I don't know how intense your hi you guys be nice. But like be nice. But there, when you go into like chat, you know, the thing comes up and it's like these are the chat rules. I don't
Yes.
have chat rules because like I'm
Nobody reads them.
hoping
It's fine.
nobody reads them. And I also think that like can we just be adults? Like can we just be adults? And if you're not, then you get banned. You get deleted. It is what it is. But like I don't have like chat rules because like me saying like this is it's a like don't mess with the vibe or like don't be a bad person. It's like, bruh, like can we just get that instilled into like into human beings? And if you're not, then you're out. Like I just, you know, so I don't have like chat rules. You don't see those when you come into my channel. Um
It's like I said, nobody reads them anyway, but there is once again, you said it perfectly, was you kind of give off whether it's an energy or just the attitude you have towards your stream. That's the type of
yeah.
people you would hopefully want to bring into your stream. And then luckily with that mod team, you cut people out, but that's kind of hard to
Yeah.
do. And also depending on I don't know if you heard earlier, we were talking about how Call of Duty is a pretty toxic community. Like, do you feel that, or am I just in circles where people dog on Call of Duty all the time?
So this is a really interesting conversation because I don't play multiplayer. I only play Warzone. And so
Yeah.
what I think about that is that I tend to play the game that requires the most teamwork.
Okay.
Right? So Warzone is all about working with your team. So whether I'm playing with randoms or whether I'm bringing people on, like
Yeah.
you don't want to like talk, you know, badly to your teammates because you have the same goal. You want to
You
get
would
the dub.
assume
You
so.
would like you want to win, and I think especially I think that's why you see a lot of women in playing Warzone now more than ever because it's a lot of like communication, it's a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
You kind of get that camaraderie a little more. So to be honest, I really haven't felt that toxicity in Call of Duty because I've specifically put myself in a space where it's not there because I don't have time for that. Like, I
Interesting.
mean, like, I just, you know, I don't wanna I don't wanna be a part of that, and I know some people have their content specifically around, like, this is how guys treat girls in games, and, like, that's their brand, and they only, like they mostly post a lot of, like, you know, this is, like, when a girl walks into your walks in, but when a girl enters your stream or, like, when a girl enters your team or whatever it is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I have really grateful and thankful that I've chosen to not be a part of that. And so Warzone, I don't think is as toxic. I get some pretty toxic hot mics when you kill another team, and they're just like, "What
Well,
a bitch!"
yeah. Well, when
But I
you're
love
playing,
that. I earned that. That's a like, damn right. I'm epic. I just killed you. So
I
you can say what you need to say.
was about to say, hot mics are totally fine. That's the thing. It's just
Yeah.
getting those teams or doing. If you don't have a team and those random fills is when you get that weird toxicity. And like I said, for whatever reason, I don't understand. There's fun to be had when sort of dogging on a game that has fuck ups. But now more than ever, even I don't really play games that often. When like there was the Apex launch and the servers were overloaded, people
Mm,
will just attack the game. Like even if you love the game, like oh $1 billion company, oh they can't get their shit right. I'm like you were just loving on this game 10 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden it's the worst game ever, and the community sucks. Like I don't know what
yeah.
that mentality is. Am I the only crazy one, or
No, so I no, I there are moments that I've been really upset with like Activision, especially when it was almost a year ago now when they had like the flashing lights issue. So I'm epileptic, and it's a huge
sorry?
reason why I don't stream multiplayer.
Yeah,
It moves really fast for me,
yeah, yeah,
um, and or just play multiplayer in general. unless I need to like, level something up and then I take it like super slow. But with that, like after every time I would die, everything would just flash on screen. I'm like, you guys, this, and it lasted for several days. And I'm like, this kind of thing needs to be fixed so fast. It's like it needs to like not exist. Like that kind of issue to me is bigger than any like in-game, like, like whatever gun is broken. Because here's the thing, I can appreciate so my I don't know if how much of my background probably a little bit from John's podcast and things, but
Yeah.
so my background a lot is in understanding how like the back end of things works, right? And the
Yep.
algorithms and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I think the game is so beautiful. Specifically, like I think Warzone being able to immerse yourself in an entire world and have it interact with you. You know how much code goes into that? Like you can look, I get it. There's some things that need to be fixed super quick and like to be it's super easy to get upset and like whatever. I just so appreciate like how freaking cool it is. And there's problems that they need to fix. Some they need to fix faster than others. But you know what? You know how hard it is to find that one piece of code in this long,
Yeah.
part that's breaking like the one thing in the game. It takes a while.
But it's weird because everybody gets tripped up on that one thing. The old adage is like,
Mm.
oh, I guess games will never come in one piece again, like on a cartridge. It's like, that's not the nature of the beast. In fact, it should be fine that it comes in different pieces, right? So you can constantly be updating. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just fun watching those communities kind of eat themselves. Okay, fun is the wrong word. I'm just like an evil genius. Like, yes, just eat. I'm over here podcasting about it, and you can eat yourselves through your communities. Like, but it is
I
fascinating
know.
behavior. Sorry, my dog just got up from a nap. You okay, dude? Um, Distracted, ADD.
No, you're good.
Uh, Jumping off of that, I did want to talk about being in that
Yeah.
space as a woman. Like on top of that toxicity and stuff, have you
Mm.
you have good mods clearly that come in and knock this stuff out. Because me saying that I don't get a lot of hate is kind of, I don't want to say expected, but you get different people flow through a women's chat, right? Like,
I mean, yes. Here's the thing. I put so much work in when I'm with my community, not on stream. We DM on Instagram, we talk DM on Twitter, we're on Discord. Like the community that's amazing is so strong that when someone does come in, the community is just on it. They either like introduce themselves to that person right away and go like, "Hey, that's not what we do here." And like it's just I really don't see and I'm not a part of all of the like intense toxicity because I also don't want to be a part of it. I think that there's so much more to women in gaming and women in streaming than just talking about like potential toxicity that like I don't want that to ever be the focus of my channel or something that I have to deal with or something that I have to consistently like you know, I want to be like, look, I have crazy great gameplay. Look, we have this amazing conversation. Like, hey, we can get deep about something, but also like what I always say about my like in my house, we take shots and make shots, and I've been really aggressive to that from the beginning of like what I want my channel to look like and be in the community I want to have, and I nurture that outside of stream.
uh, I can, you can tell through your content. Like I said, I've been going since you messaged me. Like, do you watch any of my shit? I'm like a little bit. Like I've been like you went through my stuff. Obviously, you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude? I was like, damn, okay, okay, good.
I literally came with receipts. I was like, look at these screenshots.
I was just, I don't know, man. I was having fun. We were having fun. I had to
No.
reevaluate.
And I can appreciate that. I understand that. But for me, when you tell people like, "Hey, Ginger's gonna come on here and roast me," I had people DMing me being like,
Well,
that's weird. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you gonna?" Because I don't, that's not me.
yeah, no. That's well, that was like the tweet we did, or that you did,
Yeah,
that John did,
exactly.
the fake Twitter beef that everyone's just like, oh
That I
my,
got so many DMs about.
like, who are we gonna beat up? Who's this anime daddy guy? And I was like, we're just having
Yeah.
fun. We're just having fun.
You're like, it's a bit.
Oh, but
No, but
that's so cool. Sorry, go on.
But what I'm saying is, I think what's kind of weirdly happened is like that's why the OGC stands for Original Ginger Crew, and sometimes we talk about how the C stands for cult, and the reason for that, I'm not saying they're like a cult for me or behind me. It's more of like this cult type and personality of like we've got each other's backs, right? And
Yeah.
like and I love that, and I think that that's such a huge part of when I post something or when they see something, their first reaction is like, has Ginger seen this? Does she know what it says? Like, exactly, who do we need to beat up? But in a way that's, in
Oh,
a
that's not
way
toxic in a way that
it's
doesn't
not,
worry.
but not in a toxic way, but just in like a making sure like we keep the peace kind of way, right?
Yeah.
And so which is why I deleted that tweet immediately when I kind of saw the uproar, and I'm like, yo, yo, yo. And I cleared it with a few people, and I was just like, don't worry. We don't, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Have
We don't
you
hate him.
have
Yeah.
you never done like have you ever besides obviously John's podcast, but have you ever done collabs like that, or have you ever gotten in situations that have done that? I guess that was your first like fake Twitter beef, right?
So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's been I guess my first fake Twitter beef. But I did when I first started streaming. I got a DM from someone. All these girls were like, "Do you not get DMs all the time that are like, be my sugar baby and like you're so hot and like?" Well, I'm like, all my DMs are like 1v1 me. Like literally, all these guys come into my DMs and they're like 1v1 me. I'm like, those are the DMs I get, which I'll take. But it was so funny. It's just like this more of like a very intense, like masculine, like push.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but I got one that was just like he just wrote nudes like 100 times. He just wrote nudes, 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 nudes. And this was like in my first month. And I, not kind of knowing what would happen, took a screenshot with his name. I think I've told you this, and I posted it on my Instagram story. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, this guy's looking for nudes. If anyone wants to help him out." And I didn't realize how many people would just berate this person. And I from then on kind of decided, like, I took it down. I was like, okay, everyone chill, everyone chill. I didn't realize the power of community as well. I think that's a huge thing to kind of take into consideration. So the whole like name and shame
Yeah.
is behind closed doors. It's not, it's me ignoring that, not posting it for everyone to then go out and, berate this person with nudes, like aggressively, or be upset. But yeah, so that was a very big learning moment for me when I realized, but it wasn't necessarily, it was a huge part of it was how I behave in this space. And the second part of it was how my community can really gather already after a month.
So it's been from jumping way back, it's kind of the opposite. Like your community is so behind you that any form of outside toxicity, you don't really have to worry about because you're very good at that building community part of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody comes after you, that's when people are just like, all right, come on, who are we getting
Up
after?
in arms. Yeah.
Which can lead to like right now, and it's kind of settled down a little bit. I've also taken a break. Like TikTok had the whole call out culture. Like you have these creators on TikTok who are calling out other like bad behaviors and people copying, and it just turned into this mob mentality. And I came to TikTok kind of like calling people out because I'm an idiot. I mean, I've gotten better. I'm trying to be more professional, but that's what can happen is when you have you kind of have to check yourself and be like, whoa, I have these people that love me and will do anything for me, which also is my imposter syndrome go burr situation. But like, yeah, you have to be very careful because you have that power. Well, what's the Spider-Man adage? Hey chat, what is it? With the power with the responsibility? Huh?
With a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility.
with great power comes a lot of isn't the word. Oh my god.
Oh. Well, I was paraphrasing.
With great power comes great responsibility. We got it.
Nailed it.
Sorry.
Yeah, and not to say like I have so much power. We're still, whatever. But
not power. It's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely this group and this community that people want to, I don't know, like being a part of. But to what you said about calling people out, I think there's a lot of gray area here because I think that there's a time and place if there's someone who's awful, who's not, listening, who's like the person who I was so happy when there was someone who's like hate rating people like that. You have to name and shame like that you need to bring a awareness to that needs to blow up. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Someone who's doing something wrong, that's for me, calling them out is so performative. If you are creating something like trying your hardest and creating it on TikTok, creating it on Instagram, creating it on Facebook, and someone duets you or or screenshots and makes a public post about how you're doing it wrong, that's not okay to me. That's so performative. If you really wanted them to learn, if you really wanted them to know, you would DM them. And that's, not everyone thinks that way, but it's exactly how I think. And that's the kind of people that I want to attract towards me, you know?
Yeah, it was. My most recent one was somebody jumped. There's the Q&A section on TikTok where it's technically public. Like anyone who does a Q&A, they can ask to be on the show basically. And a dude was like, "Hey, check out my stuff. I'd love to be on the show." It's self promo in a sense, but also not shameless, I guess. I don't know. There's a weird like balance when I guess building a podcast like this, but in a way I put him on blast. Like we were both in the wrong, but I did a video with the Q&A. I said, "Hey, so and so, I'm not going to name drop now. I'm trying to get better at not name dropping. I know I love doing it, but like so and so, like if you want to be on the show, that's great. Love your stuff. Love to have you on. But this is." I use them as an example when it should have been the step was DM him first, be like, "Hey man, I see you're interested in the show. The way you went about it was, not the like I have a link, etc., etc. Do you mind if I use the Q&A though as an example of so like the professional?" I didn't do that. I did the call out. I put his name on blast, and it was a whole thing. But it's the drama's
It's
cool.
spicy. It's spicy. It's spicy. But like
Ah,
it's also but you put out what you put out, you attract, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think, you and I had that moment on John's late night, whatever, where
Thought it
you
was a
asked me
bit, and it turned
to be
real.
on your podcast. Well, you say it was a bit, and I think that's you really, really trying to like backpedal a little bit. I think the guys were making it like
They
so
didn't
weird.
help.
They were like, "Oh, you're hooking." I didn't know what that like language meant. They're like, "Oh, you're reeling it in, like pull it back," and I was like, "Wait." I was so confused by
They're
their commentary from
yeah.
the peanut gallery. But from what I was trying to like tell you is, I would love to. I love doing collaborations. I think that they're incredible. I think more people who learn and know, I think that there's more than one way of doing things on stream. And so many people are just like, "This is how to do it." And I'm like, no, no, no. Like what's cool is that because so many people do it different ways, like you get, there's obviously some definite, wrong ways to do things, but for
Yeah.
the most part, it's open to interpretation. And that's the coolest part of streaming. So I love sharing that in my part. And I always say I'm not a gatekeeper. Like anything I know, you can know, ask and I'll tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
That is another big thing on TikTok is who can give the advice. There's this mix between if
Mhm.
you're say a 5 viewer Andy, you average 5 people, you shouldn't be giving advice on anything. But then there's people who if depending on the advice you're giving, like it's still valid. Like if someone says, "Oh, if you the main test I actually did recently was there was another creator who said you'll never grow with follower only mode on." I had follower only on for a month and my growth was exactly the same. It did not change the fact that I had follower only mode on. So it's like,
I think it's all preference. I
yeah,
think a lot of it is preference.
there's
I
so many gray
yeah,
areas with streaming. That's why I love having these conversations, you know?
yeah. I put sub only mode on. Not
Oh,
like it's I
I have to talk
yeah.
to you about that. So I had a couple people like, "Oh, who do you have on this weekend?" I was, "Oh, it's Ginger, go check her out." And they're like, "Oh, her videos are sub only." What like in the smaller community? Like I did that once and I got fucking berated. They're like, who do you think you are? Sub only for your VODs? And it's like, "Oh, well, I just wanted to use it because it would push people to YouTube." Like it was like, "Oh, if they can't see it here, it's over on you." I had a dumb reason. And who do you think you are, Ginger? Like,
Okay, so this is actually really funny. So
okay.
this is a very new thing. I someone had I okay, so I love my favorite thing in the entire world is going back to someone who rated me. Everyone who rates me, I go back into their VOD. I watch the last 5 minutes. I want to see how they ended stream, how their game was going, with how they talk to their community. It just helps me as well, like see, if one day I want to rate them back, or like what their vibe is, like just the whole thing. I want to get to know them, and like it's an easier way for me to do that. So I go back, I watch the last 5 minutes, I see them bringing their community to me, and it's really sweet. So I went back to this larger female streamer who rated me, and I went back and it was sub only, and I was like, what? Like the VODs were, not the chat.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
my chat's not sub only, but I did do that once for I do that sometimes for customs, and that's a whole different thing.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? I kind of love the exclusivity of that. And one of my mods was like, I hate that. You're making it so that it's not open to everyone. And I said, well, look, not everyone can afford a Ferrari. Like, okay, not everyone can afford one, and that sucks. That sucks that we can't all afford Ferraris, but you know what? Some of us can, and like there's a and I know that argument. Do not clip that and use that as a freaking TikTok. Of all the things that I say, do not be like, I'm a Ferrari. Like, do not.
Oh,
I'll
you
be
heard it
so
here.
mad.
She said
That's
not
what
to clip it,
I
so
wanted to.
that
No,
means
don't
I'm
clip.
clipping it.
But I think that there's an argument to be said about that, and I wanted to try it out. So I was talking to my mods, and we're actually trying it out for a month and seeing like what we think, and if I get any like DMs about it or anyone messages me. No one said anything, and a lot of the community likes to like go back and watch the VODs, like if they didn't catch it, and no one said anything. Everyone's a part of it. So you're the only one who's mentioned it. I guess that makes sense for collaborations, people wanting to like check out. But you know what? You know where I supply so much good content? My other platform. You
That
know?
I was having this conversation with the man himself who's in chat. John is in chat now. What's up, you troll? Um, we were talking about, because like I said, I had people be like,
Hi, John.
"Who's coming on the show?" Blah blah. Gave it, and then they went, "I can't see any of the VODs. I want to check out what she does." But then it was, she's everywhere else. You know, her content. If once again, why I did it originally too was to push people to my YouTube. But there's just that, like when I left the affiliate program, I got dogged on. They're like, you're sitting on opportunities, blah blah blah. Like there's this weird mentality of this way is right. Like the whole theory, once again, gray areas that people can't accept for whatever dumb reason, because Twitch has done a great job of gamifying certain ways to grow, and other creators
Yeah.
too. Like I don't want to blame creators, but also like if you put a YouTube out saying this is how you grow, or a TikTok saying this is how you grow, people will make that into their Bible. So I completely respect the sub only. I don't mind it. I mean, I am subbed everybody, so I can watch the VODs.
So it's always an experiment. I'm constantly trying new things and doing
Yeah.
new things. I think when I first started out, I I didn't go. I mean, there are definitely some things that everyone does, right? And there's a certain format that most people kind of like go with in terms of like your stream. But I always wanted to do things a little different. Like I never, um, people have the like that logo, and not to say that that's a bad thing. Like you said when I first came in, you're like, oh, that's very simple text. I don't have like a set like logo, because what defines me is literally I'm that ginger girl. Like it's mostly my face. It's mostly my hair. I don't want like that typical gaming logo that they all look the same. Like
with
they
the
do.
with the bold text and the
Like the ones that are all like this shape. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're all just and there a lot of people have them and that's it. But I just knew going in that I didn't want that. Right? Like I wanted to be represented a certain way.
yeah.
And they're like people I want the first time, I think it was back in August. There someone came into my chat a bunch and I made his name a command. And everyone, it blew everyone's mind that I had someone's name as a command, because back then no one had names as commands. And I was like, screw it. If you're here often enough, sure, you can have your name as a command. And I started doing that more. And then people were like, I don't have enough channel points to do something, one of these larger things like highlight my whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, then I'll make a bunch of channel points that are like 1 point. And like, but no one was doing that because you're gonna get spammed, you're gonna get trolled. But that became the best part. That
Oh,
was the best part. It's like it's hi, I'm new here is like 1 channel point in my channel, and the oldies will come in. G Money's probably in chat right now.
I think
He's
so.
been
Yeah.
there from the beginning. Yeah. He's incredible. But they'll come in and just spam, and eventually they stop. But it's fun, and I'm like, you're not new here, get out, and like they love that,
Yeah.
and it becomes like a bit and a shtick, and I didn't, a lot of people are just like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. When I first started, someone was like, you can't raid small streamers because you gotta like network a little bit more. I think I know right now, or like you can't stream and like not show more skin. I think we look at things differently now than we did. I mean, obviously, it doesn't seem that long ago, but just this time last year, the idea of streaming was so different. I think that the way that women were perceived. I mean, I just posted this Bloomberg article that was like, there was 3 women who were in the top 100. Excuse me, there's 3 women that were in the top 200 streamers on
Yep.
Twitch last year. There are now 8, and that's not a huge growth, but like we're still looking at that. And I think last year the huge conversation was female gamers are taking over, and like it's so much easier for them. And now everyone's like, female gamers are fine, but hot tub streamers, get out. Like and I think that there's such a dynamic around what's happening now versus then. But But when I first started, the two main things people told me was like, you got to stop just playing with people who are small, try networking with larger people. And the second was, you got to show more skin. You got to show more skin or no one's going to show up. And I actively was like, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. And I found a few female gamer girls, girl gamers, female gamers, whatever you want to. I literally don't care about the titles.
Yeah, there's a whole I'm sure, I don't know if there's anybody, there's a hubbub with like women and female and stuff. I'll say women because I've been told, and not because
Yeah.
don't tell me what to do, but also like I want to respect that. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And as one, I'm cool with all the titles, so okay. I'm just gonna call myself whatever the hell I want.
Okay.
But they there's my stream knows that like this is how I usually show up for most streams. I'm usually wearing brighter colors, but I was feeling like this darker side today. But the I love it. But usually, like the as most risque as it gets, like I show my shoulders, and there's like, and my chat calls it like my spicy shoulders shirt.
Okay.
Right. And then like that's like the whole thing. It's like, ooh, she's spicy shoulders today. And like I got a new shirt that was like just one shoulder showing, and they're like half spice. And like that's as risque as it gets around here. Yeah.
I just look like an idiot when I do that. I look like I made a mistake. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, go on.
So, you know, I wanted to stick to my guns on that. And I did. And like, that's as risque as it gets. I've had people come in being like, you know, you just have viewers because you show stuff. And I'm like, bruh, showing? What are we showing? Nothing. And then they're like, oh yeah, fair. Like,
it's such a weird,
it's an easy thing to come at.
Yeah. It's such a weird argument. I mean, especially when you compare it to hot tub streaming, because it's like, duh, they're in a pool, so yes, but also it's the whole, it's different content. You're not here, you're here to enjoy my personality, my community, you know? It's not about, and you can, that's the thing with the hot tub streamers, that can be your content. It could be showing skin. Like, as long as it's not breaking TOS, that's the thing. But the idea that, Jem, who is a homie, Jem, who's in chat, says, I get the skin comment a lot. And she is actually like, this stream's for me. I want to act and like open up.
Oh, and nothing against it. Oh my God. Someone said something like, will you ever, I'm like, look, I think for me, this is like me. This is literally just me. I'm not usually like in a tube top and like whatever. If I was, you know, I'd be rocking it. I'd be looking so cute on stream, like killing dudes and all this stuff, but that's not me. And so my whole point was that I wasn't going to change myself to be bigger on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right. Like I wasn't going to start taking the clothes off and not saying that even helps anyways. But my point was, you know, I was told that's the only way I would make it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to prove them wrong.
It's the whole mentality of, not to dial in that but like, you can only do this to grow. The follower, you can't have follower only mode on. You can't do this. You can't do that. I know people who don't use any social media period and live off of people discovering them on Twitch, which, hey,
okay,
scary.
I have a huge thing about this. Okay, so do you know how they say that there's a right and wrong way to put toilet paper on the roll? Yeah, this isn't going where you thought, huh? So you know how you're supposed to put the toilet paper so that the flap is
okay, you said top, supposed right? to. I think it's up to this. Okay.
Wait, but do you know the common idea?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that was actually started like in the 60s by toilet paper companies themselves, because they realized that if the toilet paper sat a certain way, you would use 20% more, right? So this became a common thing. They started talking about it in TV shows and movies. There's a right way and a wrong way. It became ingrained in our society. There's a right way to put toilet paper on the roll. The truth is, it was a whole marketing ploy to begin with. Now, taking that idea and putting it on Twitch, we've all come to the idea. You'll hear every streamer say it, every content creator, everyone. Twitch is not a discoverable platform, right? This is like the phrase we all use. And the first piece of advice we say is go post on TikTok, go post on Instagram, go post on whatever.
Yep.
There is definitely validity to that statement. But let me tell you something. Twitch is discoverable. It is. But Twitch itself is not spending its own marketing dollars, marketing itself towards viewers. Twitch is marketing itself towards other streamers. Twitch is trying to get, when you come into Twitch, the first thing the first thing you get is the creators smiling so big. Hold on, the first thing you get is what's it called, creators classes or whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's generic. Like
Yeah, it's to teach you how to be a content creator on Twitch, right? That's all. So when people kind of come in and they don't, the amount of people I've had to teach how to use Twitch and how to be a viewer, um, over the past year, Twitch streamers has tripled. The amount of Twitch streamers on the platform has tripled. The amount of viewers stayed the same, right? So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because like when we see that, and we see this sort of concept of how it's being marketed, Twitch is sort of using us to bring viewers to their platform, right? But that's only because they're not doing it themselves. But Twitch itself actually is a discoverable platform. It runs on keyword search. It has at the bottom, you can browse, you can discover. It tells you smaller streamers. Like you just have to take the time to go in and search. It's just as discoverable as any other platform when you have to actively look and search. Obviously there's levels of discoverability. It's more discoverable than Facebook, as in, sorry, not Facebook gaming, but literal like Facebook, the platform,
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you think about that, because if you've made a Facebook group, no one's gonna see it, right? It's not a discoverable platform, unless you start,
Yeah.
interacting, having cross, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram, more collaborative. Twitter, or sorry, excuse me, more collaborative, more like visible,
Yeah.
discoverable, and then Twitter, super discoverable. TikTok, the most discoverable, right? Because all you're seeing is other people's stuff.
Yep.
So you're looking at these like levels of discoverability, but the idea that Twitch is not a discoverable platform is incorrect. It's just the fact that if you want to heighten and grow and have extreme discoverability, you obviously have to pull them in because the platform is not bringing enough viewers to have you be as discoverable as you can be. But the way the platform works, it is discoverable. Does that make sense?
No, it's spot on. It's exactly how
Okay.
the people who don't use social media are still managing to make Twitch work for them.
Mhm.
But
But there's not enough viewers to have the amount of growth that you would if you say posted on TikTok, and then
that
that kind of discoverability is obviously more.
that's what I was
But
gonna
that
say.
has to do with Twitch. That has to do with them not promoting. Instagram, TikTok has ads. TikTok has ads on TV. Has ads on Instagram. I see TikTok ads all the time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't.
Twitch,
I was just about to say
never,
you see them.
never.
What? But why is that though? I don't understand that. It's kind of like also. I was on a show the other this past week talking with a
Yeah.
lawyer about the whole affiliate contract and how
Hmm.
you are attached for 24 hours. You technically there's the argument, can you like stream on TikTok, blah blah blah. But for the most part, you have to stay on Twitch and stream only there, when the reality is you want to bring people in. The big thing, like right now, I don't know if it's actually working. It's broken because today's been a mess of tech things, but people go live on TikTok, and when people see you're live on TikTok and you're promoting your Twitch there, they will get pulled in. Twitch wants those people regardless, that advertisement, if you will, to bring people in.
Yeah.
But the idea that this platform locks you in as an affiliate and you can't promote through it is so bizarre. Why would they not advertise their own platform for people to just start streaming or viewing? And
Hmm.
then on top of that, because I feel like right now we're going to go through this change of with everything opening up. That's the one of my bigger questions is, are
Yeah.
streamers, all of those new influx of streamers, going to turn into viewers, or are we just going to lose all of that and just kind of level out in a way? Like, how do you feel about that whole situation?
This is super interesting. I've been talking. I play a lot with some of my like closer stream friends, and Grape and I have Grapey. Him and I talk about this all the time, and I think that what for example, they posted, was it like the New York Post posted something about Valkyrie being I probably say her name wrong, I'm sorry, being a hot tub streamer. And it's just like the media doesn't know, right? There's such a detachment from traditional media and the stream world, that I think the next step, I think in order for Twitch to keep going, I think in order for more viewers to come in, we need to close the knowledge gap on what Twitch is. I think it needs to like it's such an inner circle, it's such an inner bubble, that when people find out, they're like, "Oh my god, it's so easy. Oh my god, this is so fun. Oh my god, I get live interactions in real time. This is incredible." And I think if more people kind of jump into that, and I think there's this level of education that's not happening, and this is something that I wanted to kind of redirect my TikTok towards, is really kind of showcasing and showing people like Twitch isn't as scary as it seems. Before I went on, I didn't realize I didn't realize what the platform was. I didn't realize how it was. I didn't understand. The first thing I said was, "Why would anyone gift subs?" That made no sense to me. In the beginning, I literally had no idea. I was like, "Wait,
I
this is
s-
a thing? But
okay.
why?" And now, obviously, it makes so much sense. It's like, you obviously wanna support that creator. You believe in what they're doing. What's happening is literally a Broadway show.
Yeah.
It's not just, point and click. And I think that there's so much to be said about that knowledge gap, and I think instead of us worrying, I think it's really on. I want to tell every streamer, it is your objective to start. You're going out there and you're promoting your own streams. Start teaching people how to use Twitch, because everyone's like, is everyone going back? Because Twitch isn't doing it themselves. I mean, I would like to say like, hey, Twitch, do it yourself, but they're not. So
There
I think it's up
yeah.
to us.
The
I
kicker
think it's
though,
up to us. Yeah.
within that though, you have to make sure, because when I hear that personally, I think about the Twitch streamers who, and I think that might be a TikTok thing as well, that when they
Yeah.
try, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. We want to do the
Yeah.
advertising for Twitch, but what ends up happening is we start talking to, on TikTok, other streamers that kind of know.
Right.
And that's the, like, you guys have heard me say it a million times now, the Ouroboros effect of Twitch talk is we're just
Yeah.
streamers talking to each other. And now I have, which is fantastic, streamers who start separate TikTok accounts for their hobbies or other things that they can invest in outside of just that stream. But that's so fucking, it's advertising what Twitch is, not how you can stream, not like the
Right.
the bullshit OBS stuff. Is it what is Twitch? And what I've found through these talks is fucking community. Like, I've met people. People come to games. They feel comfortable enough to tell people about their days.
Yeah.
Would you agree that Twitch is a social media app in a way? Not an app, but like a social.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I had someone argue with me that.
Definitely definitely a social platform.
Yeah, because I mean, it's weird because as streamers, you're putting on a show, but also you have that
Right.
one-on-one. It's kind of like being in the. It's kind of like doing crowd work.
Interactive Netflix.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that. I correlate it to, because I wanted to do comedy before, just like crowd work in a way. Like, this is my stage,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
the crowd, and then I can, be like, what do you do for a living? The what do you do for a living sort of question to the crowd. Like, you can get them
Right.
involved. Now every stream is different. Obviously, that's how I treat it, but it's social in so many ways that I was not expecting. That when I introduced my friend, my buddy Luke, who really only watched big streamers, now is involved with all the people who I talk with on a regular, these smaller streamers. So
Yeah.
I never thought of how shit Twitch was at advertising that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people don't talk about this, and it's like the average life cycle of a viewer. And
Ooh.
I think that there is this underlying cycle of viewership. Um, and a lot of the time, from what I've seen, it's someone comes in, they're so new to Twitch, they come on, they're interested, they engage, they're part of the community, they get inspired. They then start to create themselves. They then become a streamer. They then are become too busy, and they go off and kind of do their thing, and they pop in every once in a while. And I think that there's definitely different types of cycles. I think that's one of them, and
Yeah.
it's the life cycle from like viewer to streamer. And I also think that the way that Twitch is caters to people, I think it's really catered to people to eventually become streamers. That's why there's a surplus of them right now. That's why there's a ton of us. And when you start looking at that, and people get really safe in creating the content that they created, and they're like, okay, great, and they kind of stop, and then they start saying, oh, I'm plateauing, or I'm seeing less viewership. It's because those people are cycling. You have to constantly be creating in order to bring new people in. So it's not necessarily like bringing more. And like, so what people see is they see this sort of stack, right?
Yeah.
And if I create content, more people will come and we'll do this. But what's happening is this is going down slowly and slowly because of the average viewership, the average cycle of a viewer.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it really means that the creator has to be on it. And that's why a lot of these people who start and they burn out so fast, because it's like, I'm creating, and then they stop, or they get overwhelmed by the fact that they haven't, I get DMs like this all the time. And I'm not the kind of person that is um that I'm more open to different ways of doing things. I don't think there's one way, but if you ask me like, how are you doing it, or what are your thoughts in it, I'm going to give you what I've done, and I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah.
And so someone was just like, I'm not getting more viewers, but I'm getting more engagement, and I'm putting more work out, and I'm more content out. And I'm like, it's just because you're fighting this. As this, you're constantly fighting the munching at the bottom that is the viewers becoming creators or leaving or going back to their jobs or like whatever it is. So that's why there's an extra emphasis on creators to continuously put out content.
Yeah.
And to find those people, right? It's this endless battle of we are finding the viewers that come into Twitch and then we introduce them to other streamers. But there is this knowledge gap that I think is super interesting of people who don't know how Twitch works. And I'm not saying that I'm going to just start creating content like this is what a Twitch is, like, you know what I
Please,
mean?
please don't.
But but I think that there's something in that there's if you say like, oh, I grew on, instead of putting the logo, I noticed this as well. I'm starting to change a lot of my stuff to, instead of just having the logo and having it say that ginger girl, I'm gonna have it say like twitch.tv/thatgingergirl, because a lot of people have been like, what is that logo? What does that mean?
Um,
And we don't really realize that because we're so deep in it. We're so in the sauce. Um,
no, that's
and
really
we gotta
I've
think
noticed
like a
that
new viewer.
just like the technically a call to action, if you will, but it
Mhm.
just needs you like a big thing with what I found with Twitch Talk and that helping and everything is the hand holding. Outside of hand holding, I guess with streamers themselves, you kind of have to do that with an audience. So literally the call to action. I tell people about my Twitter, go follow me on Twitter because my tweets are dope. But it's all the same thing. Like, oh,
Loving Twitter.
dude. Twitter is my new TikTok. I don't know why I love
Why
Twitter
do
so
I
much.
love I've honestly stopped posting on TikTok. That's my own problem. I need to get back on it. It became so inundated with drama. And I'm just such a no drama llama. Like I always said, if I was ever to rebrand, I'd be Lozza and the no drama llamas. Like I don't want any part of it. And it became so dramatic that I was like, and I took and so I stopped posting, but I gotta get back into it. I understand. I know what and I have so much content that I want to post on there. I just think every time I go and everyone's like shouting at each other or stitching each other or saying how you do it wrong, or there's another
Post and
Twitch,
ghost.
yeah,
Post and ghost.
posting
It's
ghost.
always going to be like that because that's kind of TikTok. Even before Twitch users got there, that
Yeah.
from what I remember from Musically a little bit, as soon as they introduce like stitching and duets and stuff, it becomes a call out. A lot of creators make the mistake also, and this happened with I will drop his name because it is what it is. Epos Vox. I don't know if you know who Epos Vox is. He's like
No.
a YouTube creator. He came on the platform. Calls himself a stream guru or a stream doctor, and I already have my own gripes about people who are like stream coaches and whatnot. But anyway, that's not the point of this. Came in
Is
and
he
was
the young one? The young
um
kid?
he is
Oh,
I think he's honestly about my age, which I guess I'm
no.
a boomer of TikTok, but it is what it is. C'est la vie. I am bald as hell, so I might as well play the boomer part. But came on and a lot of his content was just reacting to comments because you can do the comment reaction thing and
Yeah.
just this back and forth. And the thing that kind of skeeved me out, which like no offense to him, was like he's like, and at the end of the day, it's all content. And I think that's what people don't realize when doing those duets and that call out stuff is like, yeah, it's content, but at what cost to your image? Like I had on Teeny Giant
Mm.
way back, and she's part of that call out culture when people are doing shitty things. Like most of the time she's in the right, but she literally calls her Discord like the troll society. And it's like, that's cool. She has a great audience, a really tight knit
Yeah.
community, but it begs for that mob mentality. People go out and then you have other like communities attacking each other in this drama. And then you have new creators come in who talk to me and they're like, I'm afraid to just post like a cool thing I learned that I haven't seen because they see all this drama and they're like, I'm just going to take a step back. So
Yeah.
it's shitty. So I can understand like getting overwhelmed by it, but you got to post and ghost at this point on that app and just, it's still got great growth. Like I said, a huge portion of my audience is TikTokers.
That's the
Like,
thing. I so to everything you said, look, I try to stay in my own lane.
yeah.
I think that there's people were talking about the one girl who was everyone clipped her and she was just like, you're so broke, get out. That girl who was just like, you
Uh,
can't give me 10 gifted, like get out of here, whatever.
yeah.
I honestly, that's her shtick. I'm like, you know what? Low key, that's her thing. She's good at it. Like
When
let her like what
when I
it
found
sucks.
out
It's
like
not
the
like,
whole
great, but
yeah, when I found out the
it's
whole
her.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I brought that to a hold for
No,
a second. No,
yeah.
when I found out that that's her shtick, you only see that little tiny bit. You only
Yeah.
and then people make their judgments and then they dog on it. Like when I first came to the platform, I did a call out of Catliente because she said something wrong even a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it blew up. And that's the nature of the app. And it's scary and it sucks because, like I said, you can meet a lot of very cool people. Like my whole, would you have, I think way back you considered yourself a Twitch talker at one point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were part of the Mama Ginge just calls me in the middle of an interview. Oh my goodness.
You're fine.
Do we know nothing? Okay, hold
You're
on.
fine.
I'm but I think this I'm telling you, I feel like I also feel like a boomer of the age a little bit because I remember when back in July, I was kind of getting everything ready and I started streaming. I always say I started August 1st, but really I started in July. I just streamed for a month without showing my face. And I wanted to test it out. I wanted to understand what it was like to play and read chat. I wasn't, in this massive hurry. And then all of a sudden I kept seeing these like coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. Everyone was starting August 1st. Every single person and their mom. And so I was like, you know what? And so it was like beginning to mid-July. I just started posting a ton of my content. And then pushing that out so much that when I started in August, I wasn't starting from nothing.
Yep.
I already had this community. And so what I did was I kind of separated these communities. So I didn't start posting on TikTok and I post and ghosted. Grape was one of the larger kind of people to come from TikTok for like his jump spots on Warzone. And like he was like big in the Warzone space. And
Yeah.
he was like, you got to get on TikTok, at least just post the content you currently have. So what I did was I repurposed until I could recreate, right? So I would just post the content I already had, repurposed it there,
Yep.
until I knew it had grown enough or until I had enough interest in actually creating content native to that platform. I love the idea of differentiating content per platform. I love that. I think it's great. I think it gives people reasons, but until you can get there, I'm totally cool with repurposing on multiple
It's
platforms.
hard to do for sure.
Yeah. And that's why I think people get really overwhelmed with that idea. But I think repurpose until you can recreate and develop and reinvent. That's what the cycle kind of needs to be
Yeah.
for you, then that works. So what I did was I was posting mostly on Instagram. Instagram was my space, and I think Instagram became a space where the community is as well. I think a huge part of the OGC is on Instagram. They're in my comments, they're DMing me. That's a huge part of like where we happen. That's where we cultivate our relationship. Because you see a lot of these people on TikTok who have like massive followings, but then you go to their stream and they have like 20 viewers, and you're like, how is this not translating? And it has to do with a bunch of different things, right? Like there's different CTAs that need to be involved. You need to be able to like work people, but I also think that it doesn't. What TikTok is to me is a billboard. It's a billboard on the highway, and a lot of people see it. And you can get more viewership from that. But I think I think where Instagram is like where you sit down for dinner. It's like a close group of people. You can talk to the person next to you. I think that there's more of that. So I cultivated it more on Instagram because that's where our relationship kind of was. And that's how we sort of built that strength. I think TikTok really brought more traffic and people in, and then because of the strength of Instagram and those people being in the community, in the chat, when those TikTok people arrived, they felt comfortable enough to stay.
Yep.
So I think it's like marrying those two things together really worked. But I think just posting on TikTok, I think that there needs to be this additional element. Personally, that's what I found. But I also think the one thing I will say for women, who post and stuff, we have
Yeah.
a built-in call to action. And the whole thing that say like women have it easier on whatever platform, what I'll give you? Women have a built-in call to action. I think the guys, the biggest part that they don't have is that you really got to say, follow me on Twitch. Hey, click the link in my bio. And you know what? If girls say that too, that's great. But you know what? The part of it is we have that. We're like a purple cow in a sea of cows, right? Like it's the like that book, Purple Cow. We stand out. And you inherently want to be a part of something or see it or understand it more if it stands out.
Yeah.
And women in gaming stand out right now. And they have. And I think that because of that, we have a built-in call to action. And so when you say we have it easier on the platform, I will give you the fact that we have a built-in call to action, but we work just as hard and have to put up just as much content. There's so many more nuances to that, but we do have a built-in call to action.
That's going to be a clip because I will tell you right now, so many people will fight against that and for it. I agree. I completely agree because of this is what I said before. exactly what you said. I can't say it any better. Literally, is you're coming to a platform that is dominated by men, and men like girl, so men go look at girl, right? I know that went full caveman, but it's like you have that built in, like
Yeah.
it's to in a
Whether
dummy's
you
term.
stay, whether you engage, like whatever, that's all on the streamer, that's all on the content, that's all on everything else. But I will say there is this built-in call to action. The traffic does drive, and whether you keep them there, whether you
That's
maintain, and then you also have to kind of like, create good content. There's quality. There's so many nuances. So I hope people don't take that out of context. There's definitely nuances, and I don't think women, I think that's also not the argument. I hate that argument either. Like women have it easier, men have it. I think that Twitch takes 50% of all of our income. Like that's what I think.
Hey guys, you wanted me back on affiliate because you wanted to waste half your money? Once again, my Patreon takes, and money aside, I'm going to talk about, people always have some issues with money, but Patreon takes 2%, and I have to put the work in for my Patreon. I know that Twitch gives us the tools, but is it 50% of the tools? Like, yeah, I get emotes and you're part of the, like, what's your whole thought on that? We can get into that conversation too, because I have a whole, I don't like the affiliate program in that sense. I hate, like I said, the 24-hour exclusivity clause. They take so much money, but they kind of give you the tools. They have that built-in community, like you said, where people want to be involved in stuff. So it's like, should we try and change it? Does it matter? Like, so many people, the kicker though is so many people, and this is like what Harris Heller said when he moved to YouTube, is so many streamers can't move platforms because we're so embedded in, once we do get our feet in Twitch and start making money, like you take a huge hit because they take so much to begin with, you know?
You want to know a secret of mine?
I mean, everybody's about to. Everybody, all right, everybody, strap in. Yes, absolutely, please.
It's kind of nerdy and silly, but one of my favorite things to do is to go on LinkedIn Jobs and look up where I'm on the platforms, right? Where I look up Twitch, I look up TikTok, I look up Instagram, and I look at who they're hiring, like what types of people and jobs they're hiring for, because it gives you an idea, right? So they'll say we are currently hiring a partner specialist to, and it'll say in the description, to rethink the partner rewards and how Twitch interacts with partnerships, and you will have to pitch X, Y, and Z. And so it gives me an idea of where the platform's going and what Twitch actually wants and what TikTok wants and what Instagram's doing. It's how that's kind of, it helps me understand for like the future. I knew that TikTok was going towards 3-minute content because they were looking for longer form creators, managers to hire like 7, 8, 9, 10 months ago. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay, we're going longer form. This is super interesting. I wonder what that would look like. And so a big part of like what I do. And so that's why I'm not so bogged down onto like what Twitch is doing now, because I know that they're bringing more people in. I know that they have these things in place. I know that things are going to be changing. Regardless of my opinion on them.
Yeah.
And what I can do is work through the confines of like the platform that I'm on currently and see where that can kind of go. So I really, that's like a little secret and like tip of mine, is that I go on there, I look at the jobs that they're hiring for, I look at the descriptions, I try to see where that platform is going. And then I think about what that looks like for me and what I would do, or how I'm going to change my content or bring something in or cater to that so that I'm ready ahead of time.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like, fuck yeah. That's exactly, like, right now, it's, the kicker is you really have to be in the space. That's why you do so fucking well. Is Twitter is right now, listen, too many T websites. Twitch is looking for, I think, a chief of staff or something like that. I forget the exact, but I looked at those jobs. Like, I'm so up to date on Twitch news and those job things. I don't go to LinkedIn. That's fucking,
it's a whole level. I go,
I do have a LinkedIn profile, but I still don't know how to use it to actually network on that website, even though there's millions of users and fucking Gary V's like, oh, use LinkedIn. I'm like, I don't know how to use it as a creative, though they did just come out with a creative profile or something like that along those lines. But yeah, no, evolving with your platform, I think is what somebody said in chat, right? That's what you're doing? Evolving. Who said that? Grass Daddy. She's evolving with a platform that's super smart. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to do it. Sorry, like I said, I get real caveman sometimes. Like when I get
I love it.
When I get excited, I'm just like,
you.
Yes. No, but it's super smart to think that way, but you have to, that's the next level of thinking when growing with your stream or evolving with your stream. And so many people, Twitch makes it easy. They gamify it. I start stream, I start growing, follow some of these general rules, and they don't put in the extra work. And dialing way back, it is a job if you want to treat it like a job. But the kicker is you're still having fun with this, right? Like this is still a blast to do.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I still have, like, I own a marketing agency by day, and I always say, like, I own a marketing agency by day, and I stream at night, and I only stream, like, 3 days a week. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but when I'm not streaming, there's so much involved, but it brings me like, I live for it. I thrive in it. I think, what's different about, I get to kinda marry the 2. This is such a passion project of mine because I kind of went into it with the idea that I'm gonna bring all of my knowledge, all of what I know, all of my research, all everything from my master's degree, everything from my papers, everything that I know to work to be true, everything I've ever done on and anyone who doesn't know, I did a lot of like research on like cult formations and like how that works and like and it's so interesting. And I know it's really like off-putting when you hear it, but
No, no.
the concept and the theory behind like how kind of groups rally around something or someone or a game like that's always interested me. That's even a huge passion of mine. That's what I do. So my daytime, my clients are like they're like live event festivals, they're products, there's they want to bring people from that online space to that offline space.
Yep.
Pre-COVID. So really, getting whether it's a large music festival and getting people, people love music festivals, right? They're like, oh, I'm like EDC as the day is long. Like that's what I do. That's where I go. They're so passionate about that. And a big part of that is like the culture that you put around that festival, around
Yep.
that, whatever it is, and the people you bring in and how you nurture that and the customer service behind that and the way they answer their DMs. If you accidentally bought 2 tickets when you meant to buy one and you tweet at them or you Instagram them and they get back to you right away, what are you going to say? You're going to tell all your friends, oh my God, that was the best experience I've had. You're going to tweet back. You're going to say something good. And if it was the worst, you're also going to let, there's so much word of mouth involved, but that's kind of besides the point. My point is like, I sort of run my brand that way as well. I kind of, I think of it in this way of like the overall arching, me and what I would create and how I would run something. And it's 100% me. There's like no part of this that someone's made me do or told me that they, whatever, like a client does. They're like, oh no, we kind of want to do it this way. And I'm like, that's wrong, but okay. And so I just wanted to have this space where every part of it just had my little fingertips on it. And I wanted to see if it would work.
Clearly it's working.
So far, so good. So far, so good. We haven't had any craziness, like too big of any, things, but I'm having a blast with it. And I love that I've stuck to my guns on it and I'm excited to see where it goes. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride, but I definitely I guess I run it like a company, like a business, but it's also just it's just massive passion project.
That's that weird duality is running a stream
Mhm.
like a business, but it has to be the a big tip that I hear constantly is make sure you're having fun. And to its bones, I think streaming should be fun because that's the way Twitch kind of presents it. They literally gamify it and whatnot. You play games on stream, but that, like I said, you found a very good balance that a lot of people cannot find because they overwhelm. I mean, shit, I work constantly.
Yeah.
Working is I mean, I spend a lot of day on Twitter. How much of that is work? I'm networking, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think it's interesting that the cult mentality, if you will. I like, yeah, I guess it is kind of weird when you, but there is a mentality, like the camaraderie, literally the camaraderie
Yeah.
of Twitch, what you can create within your own communities. And how do you do that? Because that's I think when you can first find that, you bring a group of people together to rally behind you. That's when you can start clicking and really creating. And finding that for a lot of people who start streaming can't get to.
Yeah.
Discord, I guess, is kind of like the a lot of people stress about, oh, my Discord is super inactive. Like I can't get people to interact in my Discord. And
Yeah. I I don't really get Discord, to be honest. I guess they're all in there and like I just like I pop in sometimes. It's just another place for all of us to chat as like a off stream, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
still not like, I'm growing my Discord and it's like a huge space for us. Like people are in it, like we're in it, and I let them know like what's going on, and we'll joke in there. And sometimes I'll do like these little, I like to do little things for certain platforms, like on Discord, I'll be like, look, if I'm late to stream tonight, because I'm always like a little late. As I'm Hispanic, okay? I'm Venezuelan. We're late.
Oh, is that a thing? You're always
Yes.
late?
Within 30 minutes, you're on time. Within 30 minutes, you're on time. But I always try to respect when I do an interview. But I was having. Look, I don't have my full face of makeup on. I literally finished. Look, if anyone could notice, and no one's gonna notice except me, but like I didn't even finish putting my makeup on because I was like, I don't want to be too late.
Fine.
But
she's running on Hispanic Standard Time, Abel.
No facts. People don't know this because they look at me and they're just like, oh, you're just like some white girl. I'm half Venezuelan, half Lebanese. My mom's from Venezuela, my dad's from Lebanon. And I just so happen to look like this. But my whole family is like very dark, like black hair, green eyes, and I'm like white as milk, red hair, brown eyes. Like it makes no sense, zero sense.
Yeah.
But Discord to me is like a place of fun. I'm like, hey guys, if I'm late, we're doing a giveaway. I'm gonna give away some SteelSeries headsets, and like, but only people in the Discord know. I haven't posted this anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
And one time I did set it on Instagram, and SteelSeries actually came into chat, and they were like, "We're doing a giveaway," and they like hung out with us, and they like, I think G Money in chat like gifted them like a tier 3 sub, and when you're like a tier 3 sub and you're whatever, you become what's called like a drug lord in my chat. And I didn't give them that title. They gave themselves that title. And so we're like, SteelSeries, welcome to the drug lords. And they just bounced. They were like, shit, this sounds illegal. We're out.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I try to, that's how I kind of use Discord. I don't really care about it. It's like Slack for gamers. I don't know. It's literally Slack for gamers, and I'm like,
hashtag unfollowed. No, it's just another space for me.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I didn't know what it was, and most people don't really know what they want from their Discords, and that's fine. I mean, now it's become my second home. When I can, I will hang out in the voice calls. It's a place where you have to know, just like any platform, it's the separation of what you put on each platform. It's another platform. I personally use it as I call it a saloon because it's a lot of creators. I'm in that class where my audience is other creators. I get that, where we can come bounce off ideas. Once again, like I mentioned, it's community management. I had to make sure my rules were clear that this isn't a support community. We literally come here and bounce off ideas. There's no expectations, but that took time. That took time, people building trust. And I think Discord is in particular should be, even though it's technically a public platform, it should be private in that sense. You have to know what you want to get out of that. The private giveaway, like letting Discord know certain things, is perfect. That's actually a great example. Like you just let them know that you were doing a giveaway because it makes them feel important. Why does that sound skeevy coming out? Like you guys are really important and nobody else is. When it's
but no, that's a huge part of it. It's the idea of exclusivity, and I don't know why people look at that so negatively. I'm like, just going back to the whole VODs being for subscribers, that's a level of exclusivity, and that's really cool, and that's just like an added perk. And
people get so angry at though. Like way back when I first started
those aren't my people.
That's the thing. That's something I have to get over. Like when I know, I'm a schmo. I'm sorry, guys. I literally have an emote that Twitch won't. It says schmuck under it. They won't. Apparently, schmuck is a bad word. But it's just my face, and it says schmuck because I use that a lot. Anyway, but yeah, when I first started my Patreon, it was like Patreons get the private shows, etc., all that stuff. And then somebody came to me and was just like, "I'm afraid like where your community is going to go because you're going to give more people more attention." And it's like, I don't think it's not necessarily attention. It's just it's perks in a way. It's just like how people sub get emotes. It's not. I don't know. It's tricky because you don't need to please. Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, I was interrupting you. Why'd you apologize? I literally just interrupted you. But I was interrupting with something good, but you keep going. I
was just going to say that it's the split of I lost my train of thought. Go.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Please don't lose yours. Go.
I'm sorry. Well, this kind of goes back to cult mentality or just communities in general. There is a pyramid in cults. in communities, there's a hierarchy, if you will,
Okay.
in everything. Literally in everything, in all communities. There's no one's just always just flat. There's this hierarchy. And like if you think even your Twitch community, don't even like give me like the sigh of no, because tier 1, tier 2, tier 3s, hierarchy. Like even if they don't get anything like too exclusive or too crazy, there's like these levels. And here's the thing, we as humans thrive on levels, right? This is like where you think about like where you want to be, what you want to do. That's why there's different types of everything that you can get. That's why there's add-ons.
Oh,
That's why you pay extra for guacamole at freaking Chipotle. Like I think that there's like this people will do more, pay more, to see more, be a part of more. And I mean, I try my best to make as much open and exclusive as open to everyone as possible. I post so much. I literally, if you want to DM me on Instagram, I read every single freaking DM. I don't care if I haven't responded. I've read it. Even the ones I read them all. I have them. I have them separated into things I need to get to and like whatever. I put my time and my energy back into my community, back into people who take the time to interact with me.
yeah.
But I also think that there are levels and spaces, and those are okay. That's a huge part of growing something great. There's when you look at a company, look at a literal company, there's vice president, there's the CFO, there's all these kind of breakdowns. And that's why you have like the streamer and the mods and like the tier 3, whatever, however you break it down. For us, it's like the drug lords. And you could break that down even further, and to have that different access on different platforms, I think is a huge part of that.
I would agree. It's just like I said, it's kind of like this weird getting into this. I wasn't expecting to create that exclusivity. Like that's what you want. Like there's VIP clubs in freaking airports and whatnot. Anything has those levels. It's just for, I guess I come from, I don't know. I don't want to, maybe like a poor mindset, like one for all for, like Robin Hood, one all for one, one for all. And so it's kind of like everybody deserves my attention because
Yeah.
who am I? Who am I? I'm just anime daddy. Like I'm not. It's creating that mindset that I have to do for myself. And now we're having a therapy session. Hey, trauma dump.
No, no, but I mean, look, no one wants to hear this side of it though. And it almost feels dirty talking about it when you talk about like the levels of exclusivity and like, if
Well,
you, whatever.
that's the thing.
And
Yeah,
that sucks. Like
people
it sucks to talk about,
people look at it in those eyes. They're just like, oh, who do you think you are? It's exactly that. Who do you think you are, especially when talking about it? It's
but there's a framework. There's the underlying like what goes on. And people, it,
hold on. So I'm just an
yeah.
OGC employee, says Fire Drake. Yes, you work for us.
No, and that's why it's kind of hard to talk about these things, because I don't want people to think that they're looked at a certain way. They're just part of like a pawn in a greater scheme. Because at the end of the day, it's what we're building and creating is so cool. But if you really want to ask, about like the down and dirty parts of growing something massive, structure is
Yeah.
at the core of it.
Even I've been saying that. Even yeah.
But the strongest part is the foundation, right? The community that you already have. And so
Yep.
growing from that makes it easier. So the people that are already part of the community, that like they know, we are what we are, that's the foundation. Then you have to kind of put these things in place, and that's like the dirty part of it. But what it does is it helps. So when you're on the 10th floor, the thing isn't shaky, right? It's because you have those things in place.
That's exactly what I'm going through right now, and like I said, I have to make sure that base, that foundation is, I don't necessarily say taken care of, but taken care of. Like these people have helped supported me all this. They made me come back to affiliate, you jerks. Like these people believe in what I'm doing, this platform, these
Yeah.
conversations, and I
That's
need to make
everything.
sure that like I said, it's therapy session. Sorry, thank you.
No, 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 no. I think it's so important to also have these kinds of conversations, because I think especially streamers who are just starting out kind of like see them as like, dirty conversations, or like that's not, I'm just trying to create a community that's a safe space for people to come.
Buzzword bingo right there. Create a
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. Um and I think that it's nice to come in with those good intentions. I love that. I think we all need that. And I just think that, don't be afraid of the business side of it as well as you start growing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna make sure we didn't get any questions because I do have a question thing. If anybody has any questions, I know because we're coming up towards the end here. How do people keep up with all their people in their communities like she's describing? It's so much time. How do you find that balance?
It's so much time. It's so much time. But here's the thing. I make time. It's a lot. It takes a lot out of me, and I hope that people appreciate it. But I also want to make time for the people who make time for me. And I obviously don't do it as to the. I will tell you, I don't do it to the length and the level that I used to at the very, very beginning. In the very beginning, at the end of every stream, I made video messages. Um, at the end of my streams, I made a video message that was like, "Hey, so and so, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Like seriously, like the fact that you were there from the start to the end, talking to me, it absolutely made my night. I appreciate you and your time and your, your patience and with all the things that happened." And I would sit there for 2 hours after every stream and send video messages to everyone who was in there. And up to 2 hours. And I would do that, and I did that for a while. I think I did that up until January of this year. And then I started sending more voice messages. So I'm a voice message person. Like everyone, some people will be like, I didn't know Instagram had voice messages. But it's so much easier for me. And so instead of sitting there and typing everyone, I voice message everybody. I voice message everybody. I'm like, thank you so much for like whatever. Or if they ask me a question, like, hey Ginger, how do I, even though if it's something Googleable, if I have the ability to voice message you the answer right there and then, I got you. It's like, hey Ginger, how do you do this? And I'm like, hey, so and so, like, blah, 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 blah. This is how you do it. No worries. Let me know. And so how I do it is voice messages. And it helps me. I go through, I take at least an hour of every day, go through. I usually get like around like 50 DMs on Instagram a day. I'll go through and
Sheesh.
I'll voice message all of them, be like, hey, if there's something that's just like, hey, or like, hey, you're hot. I'm like, you don't need a response.
Yeah.
Um, and even the people who come in like, "Hey, I'm a new streamer. Would you mind checking me out and giving me feedback?" I will voice message them and be like, "Hey, so and so, look, I think that there's so many steps that you need to take. Like, I don't have the time currently to like go into your stream and like give you advice.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I can say is what I've done is I've I make a list of things that make me like if I go into someone's stream, I really write down why I left. Like, why did I leave? Or what made me gift? Or why did I? And a lot of the time, it's like they didn't read my comment, or I waited there for like 10 minutes and like no one else was in chat, and I was like, hello, hello. Or like there's certain things, or sometimes it's like their music was too loud and I couldn't hear the game. There are little things, and like I kind of taught myself like what as me made me stick around. And I wanted to make sure that those things were happening in my own stream, right? I wanted to make sure uh, that those things were present in mine, and so I wanted to like
Yeah.
practice what I preached a little bit. But I'll send a voice message and just be like that, like, "Hey, take a list of notes, like blah blah blah. Keep growing, keep going. Lots of love, Ginge." And
That
like I'll just keep voice
that the
messages.
voice first, real quick. I've
Yeah.
never loved video calls more in my entire like. I was the type of person where don't call me, please. I don't want to talk on the
Mm.
phone. Also, real quick, I guess I will say hi to everybody because you mentioned talking to people in chat. And hey, I don't really do that on this show. As you guys should hopefully know by now, talk amongst yourselves. I try and read chat. Wilksy, what the fuck is up? OG Wilksy. Duty Beer, what's up? It's Doodoo. Hey, what's with all the Doodoo? Why so many Doodoo names? Cole Smash, Wuzzy, Fire Drake. Thank you
What's up,
guys.
duty?
Thank you guys for hanging around. No, the voice, that is such a big thing. Even so, that's taking time out of your day to respond to that stuff. But that the voice is big. I love video calls now. Like I try and say whenever we kind of did when we were on John. I got to talk to you, thankfully. But I try and voice chat or video chat with anyone who I have on because it breaks that barrier. There's some, I don't know, there's that mentality of like, don't call me, text me, it's easier. But now I'm learning that so much can get lost in text. They're
Yeah.
like our tweets. Hey, we're just having fun. But no, and then another thing within what you said is when you go to a stream, at
Yeah.
first I was just like, but if you're looking at what you want in a stream, that's maybe not what other people come to your stream for. But no, because you want to surround yourself with your mentality. Your stream is yours,
Mhm.
so you're going to surround yourself with the people that like your stream for you. Ugh,
Oh yeah,
sorry,
I'm
I just
so here for. I love the. I mean, look, you don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I love like the like minded. I wanna bring in that good energy, and I think I'm okay. I'm okay if someone is put off by something and they don't come back. I think that's fine. I think there are so many. You tweeted something about, some people tell me what's interesting about their stream, and I don't find that interesting. And I get that you meant that their response. I get that, like, their response was just like, I'm here to like make a blah, blah, and that's not interesting.
It was lackluster, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's really cool to me is the people who I don't find interesting and how they have massive communities. Like, I think that's the coolest shit on the planet, and I
So you're
appreciate
hate
that so
watching
much.
people? No.
No, 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 no.
No.
I don't even watch them, but I think that there's so many people. I stay in my own lane. I like to create what I like to create, but I think that it's so cool that there is literally space for everyone.
Ignore this. They're asking what these mangas are, but go on.
Oh.
But you create these spaces, yeah. Or people create these spaces.
And you can go, and if you don't like me, let me tell you something. There are so many other people, and I get this a lot. I've had people come into the stream, and they'll say something to the effect of, "Oh wow, a female." Excuse me. Let me start over in case you want to make it a clip. Be like, "Oh wow."
It's fine. Like,
oh wow. Okay. Like, oh wow. Oh, like a woman in gaming. Thank you so much for, not showing your body and being great. Like, you're the only one I like to watch. And, instead of saying thank you, or like, oh wow, thank you so much, I say, oh, do you need more names? I've got names for you. You want names of really great like women gamers? Got you. And I'll like list them. And I'll be like, check her out, or check her out, or check her out. Someone invited me to a Grandmaster Goach. He invited me to this tournament that they're doing that's like half creators, half pro Warzone players. And I'm on one of the creator side, and it's super, super cool. But I noticed I was like the only girl on the list. And all I just like on the short list, on the long list, there was like a ton, but I don't think they said yes yet.
Yeah.
And I just messaged him, and I was like, hey, if you need more names, I got you. And I like listed a couple, and he was like, hey, so-and-so said yes. Like, do you have any more names? I'm like, yes. But I think we don't be afraid to ask. If you need more, and like, just like today, I saw another tweet that was like, these are the people I would invest in. These are streamers I would invest in. It was like a list of male streamers. I'm like, you got a female list? Like, I'd be interested to see that. And it's like, I'm not attacking anyone. I want to be like, hey, is there any additional things that you could use for me? Because if he said no, I would have been like, got you, I'll make my own. And I would have made my own like alongside his, and it would have been fine. But I think that there are so many great people there too. Like the fact that Goge wrote me back and was like, dude, do you have any more names? Like, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, let me know. And I love that. And I don't think that, so people coming in and being like, oh my God, you're my favorite streamer because you don't show your body and you're great at the game. I'm like,
the backhanded compliment.
It's like, what? Get out.
A big thing with that, like, I welcome, I want to have diverse people on, like, I want all the interviews to be as diverse as possible. Obviously, a lot of my interviews are dudes who look like me. That's the nature of the beast. But the kicker is I want to create...
Also the nature of Twitch.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people that I want to talk to are fucking white dudes. Like, no offense. You're all interesting in your own sense, but I truly want to talk to like Black creators, Asian women, like I want to open up that platform because there's a conversation to be had. It's just, there's also, we need to make sure that it's, I don't know how
and I don't visually help with the diversity, which sucks. Sorry. No. So I couldn't look more Hispanic for you.
Oh my God. Z-Phase. What's up, dude? Z-Phase Persian. Cool. Abel was, besides, is also, we want to make sure that, I don't know how we feel about the word safe space. Cause I know at one point, safe space was kind of like a buzzword, but we have to push to make it more comfortable for people to reach out. Because right now I'm kind of at the point where I am going to reach out to certain creators and everything, but it also has to be on their turn. Like I said, I fucking asked you like an idiot on stream, but like I also want to make sure I'm not oversight. Like I want to work with those creators, but there's also that fucking backwards mentality of, oh, you're only having me on the show because I'm so and so, or I look like this, and it's like, I think we need to create those safe spaces where people can come on, or like you're like, hey, why aren't there more women on your show? And then I go, please. Or I guess it also gets boiled down to drop your links. There's the drop your links bullshit. Like, oh, I'd love a list of so-and-so type of creators. Please drop your links. And you're like, no, I'm not trying to do it for that reason. I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say it without sounding like a fucking idiot.
I just kind of don't care as much what other people think about that. Like you can get so caught up in how everyone else is consuming your content or how
Yeah.
everyone else is taking your posts. And I think as long as the intention is there, it doesn't matter to me. I will even post like, hey, I'm like I really just wanted, and I made so many friends from it, but I was just like, I wanna find new people, like new, like, women in gaming, and like doesn't matter what you play. Like I just who's out there, and like that tweet blew up. Like obviously it would, but I went in, and like the people who were like mentioned multiple times, I went and followed them, hung out in their streams, and like, oh my god, Ginger, you're here. I'm like, dude, you rock. How have I never seen you before? Like this is so cool. Like I found this girl, Danger Riss. She was part of that like breakdown, and she like drinks a bunch of Mountain Dew. Like her whole thing is like Mountain Dew themed. I'm like, girl, who are
Is
you?
she
Like this is
okay?
I know, like, she has, like, a Mountain Dew wall, but it's like, I
What
love
are are her teeth okay?
I don't know, she's gorgeous, but, like, what was
Sugar.
cool was, like, finding someone who just has this, like, incredible branding, like, everything, like, it's all written in the Mountain Dew font,
Oh my
and
god.
I, like, as someone who does this, like, I freaking I can't even tell you how excited I get about talks about, like, branding or social platforms or, like, how things work or algorithms or just, like, cult mentality, like, that stuff, like, makes me so excited and so happy, and I just, like, thrive off of it.
Yeah.
So when I see like another streamer who's like growing this community like off of that concept of Mountain Dew and has everything themed and branded and is just like runs with that, it's so cool. And have them be like a woman in gaming, even better. Like it's so badass. And so I really do use those platforms. Um there was a TikTok I saw which was very sad. That was, it was another like drop your link, but in I went to check the comments, and that person had commented on everyone who dropped their links, "Don't forget to follow me first. Don't forget to follow me first. Don't forget to follow me first," on every single comment. And it pained my soul, but I'm like, "Look, like we're all on our own path. They'll learn eventually. They'll figure it out." But I I think as long as those things are genuine and you're really working on it and you get, I think that that's cool. I think that's, I love
Yeah.
that.
Like I've thought about putting out tweets or like TikToks looking for diverse, because like I said, my crowd is mostly, no, I would say the crowd itself, like I have a diverse crowd and I love all you guys. You're dope as shit. But the
Yeah.
guests I've had on, uh, I think we looked at my YouTube list. It was like, oh, white dude, white dude, white dude, white dude, white dude. Oh, white dude, white dude, white dude. And I was like, oh man, like I'm interested in having conversations that I don't want a room full of yeses, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
I want to surround
Yeah.
myself with people. I mean, I certainly push back with creators. Okay, John makes fun of me. I don't want to help small streamers. Hey, man, I never said that. Don't put that bullet in my. But yeah, it's tricky because, like you said, you'll get those people already making assumptions. Once again, the Twitter thing, like you're looking for links, or you're just looking to the diverse hire, I guess is what that is. And it's like, no, like I legitimately want to just talk to cool people. There's so many smaller streamers or streamers who are quote unquote slept on that, or like that space. The space is so huge, and at any moment we can make it smaller. What was the saying? The sinking ships rise with the tides.
The
Bad at
tides lift all boats.
yeah. I usually
Rising
just
tides lift all boats.
yes.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
That's exactly my mentality.
Yeah.
I love that. I think there's room for all of us at the top. I really do. I genuinely believe there's room for everyone at the top. What I miss?
Nothing. Cat the Mao is like my cat is the coolest homie in the entire fuck world, because she's used all of the methods that at one point I've dogged on,
Hi,
and
Tony.
it's just cool stuff.
Hi, Doo-doo.
The amount of times I've eaten my words, basically. Let's put it that way. It's constant. It's constant, and that's fine. I love that.
Yeah.
I want that kickback. I want to say something that that gets kickback, so that I can learn from, like with you, with the looking at other people's brands when going forward. Now I want to make sure that I'm respecting their look, blah blah blah. Fuck your font though. This font is perfectly fine because it almost matches. It's still my show.
It's the little things though. You'll like as you. So I worked with like Chevy, right? So
Okay.
I was working with Chevrolet, and this was not for a stream thing. This was like a work thing, and I had taken their logo and moved like it had like Chevy and it had it at the bottom, and I had copied and pasted like the words
Okay.
next to the logo on the right side.
Okay.
But they don't represent Chevrolet on the right side of their logo. They represent it on the left. And so we had all these things printed with it there, and we got hit with the fattest lawsuit. And because we were messing with the branding of the company. And you got to like, so I take just branding like super seriously
Yeah.
because I've worked with brands who will sue you if you misrepresent their company in any way. And you really gotta, they have to enforce that because they're such a large brand, and they need and so like it really just made me think as well that like I need to have a branding deck. And like I have like a marketing deck that I give to like, you know, potential sponsors and things like that, but I don't have a branding guide, which I create for like every company, but I don't have for me. And I was like, wow, that's super interesting. And it made me think of that with you because I thought like, am I being too harsh about this? Because at the end of the day, this is like a passion thing. But when it boils
No.
down to it, I think I've gotten where I am because of the amount of detail I put into things, and because of those little things. Like you're like, hey, do you like this poster? And I'm also like on this side, I am just so aggressive when it comes to just visuals. Like I want things to look good, especially if my name's on it. And so I didn't know like
Don't look at
I
my
was so
fucking stream. I get it. It sucks. I'm
no,
not
no,
a
no, no,
graphic
no.
artist.
No, but that's okay. You don't have to be. That's the point. You don't have to be. I'm a little bit of everything. I don't consider myself a graphic designer, but I know my way around Photoshop, right? Like I can create some
Yeah.
stuff. I don't consider myself an editor, but I can cut things together. And I you know, there's just so many things I think it's, you know, they all work together as one. But my point was that I think for me, I was worried how you would take it because obviously that's your like, you know, your thing that you're putting on your platforms, and I want to make sure we marry the two. And
Yeah.
so I that's why I created that option, and then I created like the different sizings. I'm like, you can put this on Instagram, you could put this one on, you know, YouTube, you can but
Well,
I'm also that aggressive person that'll be like, I'll make them.
no, that's fine. Me personally, I'm flexible in that sense. I wish more
Yeah.
people would take reign because that shows the side of professionalism that comes with streaming. If you really want this to kick off, if you really want to grow with streaming, is you have to treat it like that. Your brand is your image, and you should respect that and want other people to respect that as well. Not some fucking schmo named Anime Daddy who's like, I'm just gonna put the name in the right place and the like. I already had like
I feel like we need to show the people what you created.
Listen, I it was like 2 a.m. I was doing my best. I finally got an editor. I don't know if I finally got an editor, so hopefully my clips won't look like complete dog water. Abel, if you're still around, fucking thank you, homie. You're amazing. But yeah, it's work, and I need people like you. We all need each other. I don't want to say hold each other accountable. Is that in a sense? But we all need to make sure if we're doing this. I got you. What's up, Abel? I needed that. It helps me grow.
Abel, make me look cute. Make the hair pop.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. But yeah, I welcome it. If you know what you want, I will gladly hand it over. If working together, that's the part with collabs. That's another scary part about collabs is someone can ruin your image just because of a couple things said or how an image looks. And a lot of streamers don't really look into that because once again, streaming is easy. We're just having fun playing games. But if you really want to grow, you have to look at it from that standpoint. So I respect the fuck out of that. And I'm happy you did that. So
I appreciated your our back and forth on that too, because I was like, I did ask a friend, I took a screenshot, I was like, was I being too harsh?
No,
and
no,
they're
no,
like,
no,
no,
no.
you're your biggest brand advocate. And I'm like, yeah. And like I'm not the kind of person to just like sit back as well. Like I'm not very much like, oh, that's fine. Like I could have been like, that's fine. But like but it wasn't me. And if I always the reason I think this has gotten to the place that it's at is because at every turn I knew that, you know, it felt like me.
Yeah.
but
Apparently I
also,
say, oh, sorry. I say sorry too much. Hey, a little old Japanese man. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just walking around with my giant old tortoise, just trying to make friends. That's my brand. My brand, you know, I'm sorry. Do I say sorry too much? Screw you. You should have used my image. It was silly and fun. You know, like, what the fuck? What are you, Canadian? Cat, I'm not Canadian. American. Even though I'm not wearing my USA hat. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, what's up? I just had like a mental breakdown. It's the same when like Kat Liente came on and she's also
Yeah.
like into graphic design and stuff. It's just like, yeah, your setup sucks. I was like,
Here's the thing. Look at my, I mean, don't look up, don't look here because that's not mine, but that's basically what it kind of looks like. I don't have, no, not you on your stream. Like I'm pointing at that ginger girl.
oh yeah.
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 So what I did in the very beginning, when everyone was saying like, I'm starting August 1st, I'm starting August 1st. The biggest thing I kind of hear from other creators and streamers is that like, I'll start when ...
Yeah.
I'll do that as soon as I have ... right? Like I'll, emotes, like whatever it is, like I'll do this as soon as I have my logo done. I'll start streaming. As soon as I have this put together, I'll start, that's when like the subs will start coming in once I have my new custom whatever.
Yeah.
I started I still have, I think at some point I have that, like, like that zombie in OBS like runs by when you get
the
like
generic like mine right now because my alerts are broken because
Yeah.
Streamlabs alerts hate me. By the way, I did put up her graphic that she sent me compared to mine. It's just a little bit taller. So, but anyway, go on. So people like get involved. They talk about doing this, and that.
You have it at the bottom now.
I just wanted to compare. I'm gonna replace it in a second. I just wanted to let you go on. What? I'm gonna put it at the top. Don't attack me, Ginger.
In the last 9 minutes of our interview.
Listen, I wanted to. I'm a professional.
It's because I made such a shtick about it. But like and I know I come off that way, but you know what?
Once again, it's not a bad thing.
Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Not all the time, but when I do, I do.
That.
No. I didn't say that you did. I was just joking. Oh, look how cute that looks. See, that feels so on brand.
But here's the thing. It looks
Is that centered properly?
It looks almost the same to me. Hold on. I have to make it bigger so I can look.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
It's my border. My border fucks up.
But it's not. But the thing is, it's not gorgeous because it's just a normal font. It's like a normal Google font. But my point, you probably have it. I should have just told you what the font was. But I didn't want to like go all out and put money into creating like a logo and a label. And I wanted it to just be like clean and simple and something I could use for then, because I wasn't. Oh my god, you just like move it over a hair to like, that's so dead. I just saw it on my.
I just want to be nice.
I don't know. I love it.
I didn't want. Go on, please. I'm gonna send you a fucking Olive Garden gift card. I feel like a dick.
Olive Garden.
I don't know. It's a joke.
It's an friendship's worth.
No, it's an inside joke.
Breadsticks. Okay.
Breadsticks unlimited. But go on. I'm sorry. You know what your image is, and like I said, that's fucking. I can respect that. You need to in this space. Being a creator, you need to know who you are.
Font? Freaking Barry gets me. Barry understands.
What happened? Where?
Barry in chat.
Look at Facebook's font.
Barry.
I like my flashy font. My anime daddy.
Yeah, that's on brand for you though. That's you. That's your.
Yeah.
See, I got worried because I actually lightened it in our little poster. I lightened it a tad, and I was like, "Oof, Chevy would have sued me."
I'm not Chevy yet. Next time though, if you ever mess with my logo, I won't do anything about it. No, but
amazing. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask me? You said something about Patreon? Do I stay on and we talk to Patreon people?
Yeah. Patreon members, jump in the waiting room. We're gonna start wrapping this up right now. I think I was waiting for Kanoa.
Wait, am I in that?
Huh?
Do I get to talk to Patreon people?
Yeah, if they jump in. It just depends. I have a lot of UK Patreon members, so it's usually I save the VOD and then throw it up on Patreon. But if anybody's around and you're a Patreon member, even if you just signed up, feel free to jump in the waiting room. But yeah, I just do an after show and we chit chat and bro roaster.
Jump it down,
John. You're welcome to come into the after show if you want. Yes. Roast the crap out of her. But we're not wrapping up. I do have, I think, a couple questions that came in. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let me refresh the page. Sometimes with these, this one was random. This might have come from a troll, but it's fine. What's your opinion on people who don't show their parents any respect?
So what if we turned this into like a parents and stream? Like I think what's really interesting. So this is my house. I pay the mortgage here. Mama Ginge lives here. This is still like her house
Yeah.
because she's my mom. But and she acts that way, and I let her, and I think that's
You you let her.
yeah. I
No, no,
mean,
it's yeah.
at the end of the day, she tells me to like lower something, and I like when you pay the mortgage, you're like, ah.
It's true.
But it's a huge sign of respect, and especially like having a Hispanic mother. There's I think things that a lot of people don't really understand about our relationship and about how close we are. Um, but I showed her stream and she came and she did a little segment. I think we talked about that.
Yep.
And she from then has just been obsessed. She was like, "Should we do a little Mother's Day segment tomorrow?" And I'm like, and I thought it was cute, but I was like, "No, I don't think so." Like, whatever. But she's getting super into it now, and she still has her reservations, and she still, asks me, are you sleeping enough? Are you putting your time in the right places, like in your business, and not, just in streaming? And
Yeah.
and it's hard because she, the very beginning, she's like, "You're obsessed. You're obsessed with streaming. You're obsessed with it." And and I was like, "Yeah, I am." And you
Same.
know what? You get obsessed with the things that you're passionate about. And she was looking at it such a negative, like, "Stop looking, like, stop sending voice message." Like, I was just voice message and voice message and voice message. And she was like, "Stop, you're getting obsessed. Like, why are you talking to these people so much?" And she didn't understand it. And then she comes and she asked me, like, "How's Neptune doing? Like, how's so and so?" Like people from stream. And it's so cute because she got so involved so quick. And she was able to see that and she was able to understand it
Yeah.
and she gets it now, but she's just like it's just a little worried by that, like, that level of obsession, but I think that's what drives me. I think that's where for me, that's what the magic, that part of the obsession that keeps me like I literally woke up last night thinking like I literally woke up in the middle of the night and then had this idea. I was like, "Oh my God, yes." And then like I wrote it down and I dreamt about it for the rest of the night. But like I live for that. Like I live for those moments. I think that's like some of the craziest cool stuff. But yeah, a lot of respect for my mom. My dad's not in my life. We can talk about that in part two. But
It's all good.
but she has reservations. But I think easing her into the stream world, into the stream life has made her see a little bit more of it and get excited by it. We can share those wins together.
That's I know a lot of parents through streamers that just don't see it as anything. Nothing at all. Not even as a fun hobby. It seems like a waste of time to them, which is a weird parent tactic because my parents have always been pretty supportive, even not through each other because they hate each other. They somehow found a way to like me still. Hey, thanks, mom and dad, even though, yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
There was one, we got a tech question.
Oh.
DSLR and high quality video or SM7B and good sound?
Oh,
Sounder,
either or? Like,
if
sound
what is
or
more
sound or
important?
video? You guys, I think you're asking the wrong
It's
questions.
the wrong question here.
I think you're asking the wrong questions. I mean, look, yeah, sound, yeah, video.
Pedals.
I really think you're asking the wrong questions.
Yeah,
Ask better questions, you guys, not you, people.
ask
No,
better.
like the first time I did a Q&A, everyone's like, "What product do you use on your hair?" I'm like, literally send me a DM on Instagram, ask better questions.
I will say real quick, audio in my personal preference compared to video. And that's it. That's all we'll say on that. But this, yes, once again, I'm surprised. Because of the way my brand looks on social media, people usually like that's not a bad question, Pedals. It's fine that you asked that. I'm not gonna attack you like Ginger just did. That's fine. But yeah, I've been lucky enough that people don't come in and be like, "Hey, how do you start streaming?" I don't know. Google it. We're talking about the psychology of why streamers don't get along with their parents. That's audio if you have to choose one. Yeah, audio if you have to choose one. Pedals, personally speaking. Also, chat. I love my chat because they will also answer for me sometimes. So you guys are the fucking real MVPs.
Yes.
And then one last one we got in. Most viewers have an ideal streamer where they could describe what type of streamer they subscribe to. Do you meet streamers who have an ideal viewer? And if so, how would you describe them? What's an ideal viewer? And that'll be our wrap up. And then we're gonna
Oh, that's a good question.
straight out. But yes, that is a good question. An
So
ideal viewer.
an ideal viewer. Um, Here's the thing. I think there's so many different flavors of popsicles. I think that there's different kinds of people, and I don't think there's like one necessarily that works. I think being open. I think that it's all the like the generic like being open, being there, but I think like being responsive. Like I'm here for the lurkers. I love a lurk. I appreciate all of you, but I think the active engagement and mirroring sort of who I am as a streamer and who our channel is. I think when you find someone in the community who vibes with that and bounces off of that. And even when they become like a lot of my community just become like little trolls, right? Like they'll start blasting the things, but like having that comedic timing of knowing when to do that and being a part of it. Sometimes I worry that we have so many inside jokes that when new people come in, they don't get them. And I'm like, ugh, and I'm like, and a part of me was like, maybe I need to make the inside jokes commands so that people can understand it. And everyone's like, that's so lame. And I'm like, I know that's lame. But we at this point we have so many inside jokes and I tell so many stories that new people kind of come in and they're so lost. Like we have a brub command and a brub channel point. And they're like, what's a brub? Or some things are spelled wrong, but they're spelled wrong on purpose because of this thing. And so I think to me, my ideal viewer is someone who understands those and can teach people along the way. Because that's super cool to kind of like extend an arm out and be like, hey, bruv means this, like making
Yep.
people feel a part of the community.
Best viewers are the ones that aren't there okay, for themselves. Anyway, being a streamer whose audience is mostly streamers, the ones that choose to come in and talk to others in the chat. My favorite thing is when I go to another chat, see another person I know or someone like you mentioned way back in the beginning and have share your community's emotes. Like they are literally the best viewer is someone who is involved with the streamer and the community. Just that dance of friendship and make it as
Yeah.
cheesy as fuck. But yeah, like you guys just helping me out because I'm not always going to be talking to chat, just speaking to each other, literally getting to know each other. Honestly, that's my favorite type of viewer is when I'm a viewer, if that makes sense. Like when I can go in and I'm treated the same way. If like I love being a viewer on Twitch too. So when I see my viewers who are at this point I still consider friends. I know there will maybe knock on wood, or there might be a point where it turns into a parasocial relationship situation. Like when you grow so big, like you can't keep track of tens of thousands. Like Ludwig doesn't know every
Right.
single, like Valkyrie doesn't know every single
Yeah.
person who comes in, but
But that's part of the foundation of now, right? Isn't that I think that that's what's super cool. And everyone's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I can't wait to have to deal with that problem, you guys. Like, let's talk about an issue that's going to come up. But you know what? I think the people who are part of it now, who feel that, who understand that, and who I are in my DMs, who know that I talk to them, there's, eh, people say that as soon as you become partner, people look at you different or that things change or whatever it is. And I don't think you change. I think sometimes people's perceptions change a little bit. Sometimes I'll go into people's chat and I'll turn off the check.
yep.
I went into I don't know her name in real life, but you know her.
Lexi. Yeah.
Lexi. So
Yeah.
I was she was doing like a 24-hour stream and I went in and gifted and was just like, keep going, you got it. And
Yeah.
and
I'm so happy you
it's
know
one
Lexi. She's so cool. Go on. By the way, go.
yeah, she rated me once and she's super sweet and I actually found her on TikTok because she said something about cancel culture and I liked
Oh,
what she had said. And she first thing kind of came out was just like, Ginger, I thought you were partnered. What happened to your check? And I was like, oh, I turned it off. And I was like, and she was just like, oh, okay. And because she was talking about, like, she was introducing me to her chat. She was saying, like, she was shouting me out. It was really sweet. But she was like, she wanted to call me a partnered streamer, but she didn't see the check. And I'm like, I think that there's such a, sometimes you come in so hot, right? With it. And it's just like, oh, boom. And, and,
yeah.
and, and it makes a little bit of a fracture in the conversation and I didn't want to do that in her 24-hour stream that was like popping off, so I like turned it off and I was just chatting.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that she called me out for it. She's like, oh yeah, because she's a partner streamer, this is so weird that it's not showing a check. But I didn't think about it from like the streamer's perspective, how weird it would be not to see. I don't know, it was kind of like an interesting conversation about that.
No, there was Valula who came on last week's show. She recently got partnered, no cam women streamer, and as soon as she got that, she presented that she got partnership. There was this huge shift in mentality. She got over 300 DMs of people who just like that mindset for whatever it is that Twitch has done. Even like I've mentioned before, like when I first got to Twitch, the idea of talking to partnered streamers, even on social media, felt like a celebrity in ways. And that's on me and that's on maybe Twitch too. But it's not that.
Dude, I still feel that, but I also think that I think that this is like the education gap too, right? I think a lot of people don't know what happens. Let me tell you about all the amazing things that happen when you become partner. Nothing! Like nothing,
Yeah.
like literally nothing. You get a check by your name. You have to auto make that happen. Let me tell you, I'll list them. You get an auto check by your name. You don't get more money. That's like a weird thing that people think that you get. You don't get more money.
Yep.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Your emotes, you don't have to wait for them to get approved. You get to just put them out there, which is really nice. There's no like approval on your emotes, and you get like 50 instead of 5.
Emotes.
And that's it. That's it. That's all. That's the only thing that happens. The only thing that changes. So as someone, was talking to me, they're like, once I get that, everything will change. I'm like, if you go in with that mentality, nothing happens. If anything, I was always saying, like, I got the check for the community. I think it's super validating for us. I think it's super cool and validating that we got it. The OGC, we are a verified fucking community. And that's how I see it. And
that's spot on, because I have a whole thing. We'll talk in the after show. I have a whole thing about partner pushes and stuff like that. Everybody, we're going to raid into Kanoa Daddy, but real quick, Ginger, let everybody know where they can find you, all that good self-promo stuff.
Okay. Hi, you guys. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you found a little bit of value from this. So I am That Ginger Girl. Girl is spelled GRL, as you can see by my lovely name up here. That's in my font. Shout out to Anime Daddy. But really, it was an absolute pleasure. You guys, thank you for asking such good questions. I am That Ginger Girl on every platform, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I mainly play Call of Duty Warzone.
Hell yeah. Ginger, thank you so much. This was fucking amazing. We're going to continue it a little bit after in the Patreon, but I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. Everybody be nice to Kanoa Daddy. Raid message is usually #GurtGang. We know what it is, but it's one of those inside jokes. Hey, once again, ate 2 pounds of yogurt. Now that's my identity. Also, Lego head. I can make my own Lego. That's pretty dope. I am a conundrum of a human. I will see you guys Wednesday. Complain cast. Don't know what it's going to be about, but it's going to be fun as hell. 9 p.m. And then I'm going live on TikTok to do edits. So you guys will see me on TikTok live just editing these conversations, and I'm trying to catch up. Thank you to Abel. Shouts out to Abel for helping with edits. Ginger, once again, for the gajillionth time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's do this.
Do I just stay on here?
Yeah, just straight out. We're gonna hang out.
Bye, guys.
There you go. Kanoa Daddy. Oh, I get to see my numbers. And now my anxiety is high. 42.
Oh my God. We should have talked about that too. I feel like I have more to talk about. We should do this again.
Yeah, we'll go on a little after, and then I could legitimately keep talking to you for like 80 hours. I'm gonna play you guys out. Here we go. DMCA, be damned. This is the bad flute. Everybody, thank you so much. Be nice to Kanoa. He's starting his subathon. Oh my God, thank you for the subs. Get ready for it.
Yo, man.
This has been amazing. Thank you guys so much. Saturdays, 3 p.m. We got a bunch more cool people on next week. Les Gaming is the main guest. It's going to be fun as shit. Thank you guys. Enjoy. The saddest.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Hilarious. Unnamed partner is a preferred most.
Hello.
Okay. Let me hit. All right, let me give you the lowdown real quick. Every week I get a bunch of creators together and we talk about streaming, their experiences with streaming, anything outside of streaming, gaming, news, current events, their lives. Pretty much just chatting is what this is. If you're new here, welcome in. It's a pretty easy going bunch. Make sure to say hello to everybody in chat. If you want to get my attention, make sure you at me. And if you're a returning guest, what's up, guys? Now, if you're asking yourself, how do I get on the show? Easy. Just hang out, get to know everybody, join the Discord, hang out in the milk bar, be cool. Just as a reminder, Patreon members get a private after show with the main guests, usually about an hour of a Q&A. So to wrap this up, if you're watching live, sit back, relax, drop a lurk. And if you're watching this on a VOD or a highlight, make sure to comment and like, share, do all that other good stuff. And then check out animedaddy.com for my schedule every week. In fact, why don't you head over to Twitter, follow me there. You can get more updates on the show, the schedules, all that good stuff. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have Complaincasts, and then Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have the Super Chats, and then the Streamer Shoutout podcast. Lots of great people to meet, a lot of chats to be had. I'll see you guys there.